Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me.
Welcome back to the MVP's Lounge. I'm your host, The King, and today we will be talking about AEW Dynamite. I'm not gonna lie to you, this show was kind of mid as hell. Same with Collision. We're gonna go over it anyway, because there's some important stuff that happened, but show was mid. We start the show ad-free with MJF against Roosh El Toro Blanco. MJF, so he stepped back in, and when he first came back, he was talking about how he was going to be in more old ways, kind of like heel, but he still got this whole babyface thing going on, and he's still doing his, cheap pops for the fans with his eye pokes and trying to get the crowd lit. But he starts bleeding like a couple minutes into this match after Roosh hits him with a headbutt, and it was kind of all Roosh from that point. He was pretty much using all kinds of cheap tactics. There was a point where like the ref was distracted because a chair was in the ring. This ref was distracted for like dang near 5 minutes trying to throw this chair out the ring. Meanwhile, Roosh is choking this man with a whole camera cord. Can't even get into that. Like, it's just idiotic. But long story short, Roosh eventually gets him back in the ring, tries for his finish. MJF hits him with a clothesline, and then gets him with some corner strikes, hits him with the Heat Seeker leg DDT, then a brainbuster, 1, 2, 3. So MJF in his first singles match back gets a win. I don't know if they're going to do anything really with Roosh. That might not go anywhere or anywhere at all. I mean, to be fair, he's in the same faction as Naito, I believe. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he might do something with Naito when he gets here to face Mr. Moxley. But for now, WMJF. Brian Cage and Timu Bloodline with Hechiseto hop on the screen after MJF's match, and they pretty much have Hechiseto challenge MJF for a match at Forbidden Door. Then Hechiseto starts speaking some Spanish that we don't understand, and then one of the big dudes in the Timu Bloodline yells at the camera. So do with that what you will. Mark Briscoe has another backstage promo where he's talking country as hell. I don't. Yeah, Orange Cassidy was in the segment, so I didn't really care. And then Jack Perry walks by, looks directly at them, and then walks away. We now get Will Ospreay and Swerve Scott face to face in a promo battle. Will Ospreay states that he's capable of carrying both belts and that he's done it before. Swerve says he's the best wrestler and says that Will Ospreay isn't good enough to beat him because all he's going to do is have Don Callis try to assist in this matchup to attempt to beat him, because Swerve believes that even if Don Callis helps you out, you won't even beat him. Anyway, Will says he doesn't need Don Callis. Don Callis isn't happy about this, and he's backstage with the rest of his motley crew for some reason, and they're not happy that Will Ospreay said that. Will says in Japan and his times here, while he had a hit list, Swerve had a hit row, and that he didn't miss anybody on his list, and he's beating all of them. Swerve says that Will is not ready to sacrifice everything to be a world champion. He's not ready to sacrifice his wife, his child, and he's not able to do any of this stuff to stay as world champion. Will Ospreay wasn't happy about him mentioning his family and says, don't make it personal. When Will goes to leave the ring, Swerve mentions his family and says, hey, give Alan Harry my regards, which makes Will rush right back into the ring, and they go face to face one last time before they cut off and go to commercial break. Now, I'm gonna give you my personal opinion about Will Ospreay in a separate video. All I can say about this is I want to see the match just to see Swerve win, But like the Osprey part of it now, like trust me, I'll give my opinion on this once this video drops. But Will Osprey, he's not that guy, and I'll tell you why. And as I said again, in the next video. We get Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus. Oh no, it's actually an 8-man. It's like Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, Zack Sabre, and Roddy versus Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, and Kyle O'Reilly. They got a bunch of chaos to start the match, and then they eventually get into a traditional tag match. Dante takes advantage during the hot tag, but he gets stopped by Takeshita, then catches an avalanche powerbomb. Then they go into break again. They had like 2 commercial breaks. You come back from commercial break, and all the faces hit a dive on Takeshita, but it's broken up. Zack Sabre starts working on Cassidy. They get a little back and forth going. Strong goes for his running knee, but accidentally took out Kyle O'Reilly, who was aiming for Cassidy. Cassidy follows up with an orange punch for the win. But then after the match, Jack Perry comes out and knocks out Dante Martin on the ramp. Briscoe and Takeshita brawl to the back. Cassidy and Sabre Jr. go face to face in the ring, and that's pretty much how that segment ends. I didn't really care for this 8-man match, to be honest with you. It again, Orange Cassidy isn't. I've stated already, isn't my guy at all. So I don't really care about his match against Zack Sabre. Jack Perry he's Jack Perry. You know, they had CM Punk and he costed that. So don't care about him at all. Dante Martin was cool during his singles run. So I mean, I don't know where that's going. I mean, hopefully I guess since he's also in the ladder match, hopefully he might have a shot at getting that TNT title. I don't know. We'll see. Don Callis is managing too much niggas on this roster. Don Callis. Oh, speaking of, Don Callis looks to recruit Roosh. Yeah, bruh. Like, bruh, there's this dude. This dude is managing way too much people. Keep it concise, bruh. Way too much is going on this show. All right, we get to one of my favorite matches on this show: Bucks versus the Acclaimed. I know that's crazy to say. Bucks is one of my favorite matches. I know I hate those dudes, but they actually had a really good match with the Acclaimed. Okada cuts the Acclaimed's mic as they come on their entrance, so they couldn't even rap. Bowens has an injured quad / hamstring in this match, so that was kind of the target point and weakness of this whole match, and the Bucks took advantage of it the whole way. They pretty much dominate this entire match, even using cheating tactics like low blows while the refs aren't looking. But Max Caster kept having to save Bowens' entire match, having to break up the pins and everything. When we think Bowens was done off the avalanche sliced bread, he kicks out of that too. So I was like, yo, this dude's mad resilient right now. Bucks are going to use the belts, but Nick Jackson hits Matt Jackson in the face. Bowens drops Matthew with a side slam, and then Max drops the mic with the elbow drop, and it's GZ's from there because the Acclaimed get the W. So now they get a title shot against the Bucks. Oh man, it was a real good match. They actually worked it very perfectly. Let's see. Joe and Hook have some great banter again. Hey, bro, this Joe, Hook, and like Shibata is like a fantastic team. By the way, if that hasn't been like stated yet, that faction right there, top tier stuff. Shibata's working the camera for them. They were gonna jump the premier athletes, but Sterling left a note saying they're gonna run a 3-on-3 match against them on Collision. So looking forward to that. We get the awkward and weird contract signing between Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. Uh, yeah, Mina can't really speak English as well, so some stuff comes off very weird. Uh, Mariah May said that she still loves both of them, no matter who wins. Mina cuts a very poor English promo, stating that Tony Storm is weak, she's gone soft, and she's gonna lose this match. And then Mina says that Mariah has to choose between them. Saraya then comes out with Anna Jay and some other chick. I don't even know who the hell this is. They said they're sick of all this crap, and then they pull up on them. Tony Storm ends up missing her hip attack and slams through a table. Fan of the Mina and Tony feud, but it's just this promo and stuff and contract signing stuff was weird. Let's see. We get Nyla Rose versus Kris Statlander. Owen Hart tournament. The crowd's hot for Nyla. Decent back and forth between them. Statlander catches Nyla lacking on the top rope. Shows off her big feat of strength by picking her up off the top for a tombstone and advances to the semifinals. Willow then comes up on the screen after Statlander mentions her, and she says she'll win on Rampage to advance and beat her, and then she's going to head to Wembley to be the winner of the Owen Hart Cup. So Chris Jericho still off the beam. This dude, like, the learning tree stuff has been out of control, bro. It's been out of control. He pulls up on Private Party and then tries to tell him a lesson about how he didn't want to take a power driver on the head and told him that finish does not work for me, brother. Then he walked away and thanked him. Big Bill says that they'll be watching their match on Friday and he looks forward to their match on Collision. Yeah, learning tree stuff is it's hilarious. As dumb as it is, it's real hilarious stuff. We get Daniel Garcia versus some dude named Red Titus, a former ROH TV champion. Daniel Garcia's theme is fire. Took a note of that. Garcia beat this dude in less than 2 minutes, so there was no point putting this dude over as a champion because Garcia washed this dude in less than 2 minutes. Cage, Hechiseto, and Timu Bloodline pull up, and they start pulling up and attacking Daddy Magic, who was on commentary. Then they start pulling up on Garcia, and while he's getting jumped, out comes MJF to a big pop for MJF. Comes out for the save, but the numbers are too much. But then Ospreay comes out, and then him and MJF both clear the ring and stare each other down. Then MJF leaves the ring. Ospreay helps Garcia up, and we go to commercial break. We're really teasing MJF and Ospreay here. I think this might be the next feud after Swerve gets rid of Ospreay at the pay-per-view, because MJF facing Hechiseto, I mean, it's as good as Hechiseto is, it's nothing really important. Like, this will be the big next important feud that they have. But yeah, Ospreay again, when that video drops, you'll see what I mean. It's I'm just not feeling it. We get a backstage promo with Ospreay, but before he could even start, Brian Cage pulls up and security is trying to keep him back, and he pretty much challenges Will Ospreay to a match at Collision, and he gives him a title shot. So we'll be getting Ospreay versus Cage at Collision for the international title. We now reach the main event of the evening. Claudio Castagnoli or Cesaro versus Pac. We also have Mr. Danielson on commentary. he's pretty much watching to see who's going to be his opponent on his side of the bracket if he wins his match at Forbidden Door. We get an emotionally charged matchup because Pac is being hella aggressive from start to finish, trying to get revenge on Claudio for almost ending his career last year. They remind us that the winner between Shingo Takagi against Bryan at Forbidden Door will end up facing these two men, whoever wins. Pac pretty much kicks the hell out of Claudio, goes for the Black Arrow, misses. Then he gets hit with a vicious European uppercut. Then Pac kicks out anyway. He then goes for the swing, then the clothesline. Pac still kicks out. He tries for the Ricola bomb, where Pac gets him up in the brutalizer, transitions, and then Cesaro gets him in the sharpshooter. Claudio, we call his man Cesaro. Claudio's an nasty name. We call him Cesaro. So Cesaro gets him in the sharpshooter. Commentary puts over how it's a pretty much instant image where Cesaro gets him in the sharpshooter. It's lined up with the logo for the Owen Hart. And if you remember, my guy Cesaro was tag teaming and training in the Hart dungeon when he was teaming with my guy Tyson Kidd and Natalya. They do some rolling pin attempts back and forth after Pac escapes the sharpshooter. Then Pac catches him in a tight crucifix pin and gets the win. So Pac advances to the semifinals. We'll see who he faces between Takagi or Danielson. Claudio is hella upset and cusses out even Bryan on commentary and leaves the ring and heads to the back. And that was AEW Dynamite. It was a big fest of mid. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, besides the promo between Ospreay and Swerve, and I guess MJF saving Garcia. Yeah, was not much. But that's it for today. I'll see you next time for AEW Collision. Till then, thank you for joining me today in the MVP's Lounge. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Peace.